Hello everyone, this is Tim, and these are some videos that I took of GASPCON. I took these basically when I was not running, so this is sort of the in-between period from the last time slot and the one that's going to happen. So people are still playing or wrapping up, and other games are starting. To your left was a whole room dedicated to RPGs, like independent RPGs, and to the right was a room dedicated to 4th edition and RPGA games. Some con swag with some Hellboy masks, and there are lots of comic books that were donated by Dark Horse and Nox Arcana, who makes soundtracks and music for role-playing games. Always donates a lot of stuff, and I really enjoy their stuff.
Stuff?
Must be running out of subject matter.
Yeah, pretty much. I told someone I was going to do these videos, I never did.
So that's Dan, he's the organizer for the convention, and you're going to see him in a little bit. This is the area that was basically cleared out for the Battlestar Galactica miniatures event, and I'll show you a picture of those later. Bunch of Magic players, that was our guy over there, Charles, who sold a bunch of stuff, lots of RPGs. That was Dan, who organized the event, he just walked past. He's one of the Royal Court members. All of those were board games that you can, it's like a board game library where you leave your license there and then you can borrow a game and then get it back. This is the Battlestar Galactica event, and it was really cool. I liked how they had all the ships standing up on stands, and everyone had their own ship, and they were trying to figure out how it all worked out and who was the Cylon. It just seemed really interesting. So I got a few quick shots here. I didn't want to interrupt the game too much. And the rest of this video will be me telling you what I have basically purchased recently and or at the convention. I did a review of A Song of Ice and Fire, the Pocket Edition, and I saw the hardback. I guess it just was re-released, and it was just beautiful. Color, everything. It's a little bit hard to tell with my camera at this point, but just the color made it jump out a little bit. I don't know if you remember the A Song of Ice and Fire review that I did, but I commented on how it's black, white, and gray, and how it would probably look a lot better with color. Picked up the Chronicle Starter, which just came out. This is the Game Master screen, and I like how it is not very tall, it's more wide, and it's basically the ice wall, which I thought was really cool. And I believe it came with some adventures as well. And this is the campaign guide, which has lots of information about all the houses. Dark Conspiracy. I think Raging Demons RPG was the person that I heard this game about. I don't think he even knew much about the game itself. The Book of Nod from Vampire the Masquerade. I think I should probably read this over if I want to have more knowledge about the setting and what's going on. Lots of cool artwork in there. I picked this up because of Tower Guard DM, Fantasy Hero, and same with this one, Ars Magica. He had done reviews on both of those. This is the Fantasy Trip, which is an old school RPG that I've heard of, but I know nothing of. And there were a few other booklets that I got dealing with the same system. I think that's possibly an adventure. I picked up the 3rd edition of RuneQuest. I own the 2nd edition. And, I don't know, this was actually pretty cheap, and it was in a big pile of RuneQuest stuff. Castles and Crusades, a player's handbook. But that pretty cheap used. The Dungeon Alphabet. This is a nice little A to Z reference for basically crafting dungeons and stocking dungeons, and I'm looking forward to reading that. I finally own a copy of MERP, Middle-earth Roleplaying. This is the 1st edition. I lost an auction for the 2nd edition when I was kind of bummed. Zach S.'s Vorenheim, a city kit. I highly recommend it if you want to run a city on the fly. A very alternate way of running a city adventure. And I have all 4 TSR Wizard Spell Compendiums for 2nd edition AD&D. I got this fairly cheap. And don't mind me, I'm knocking stuff over. I had talked about King Arthur Pendragon, but I don't think I've ever actually shown you guys the books that I have. I picked up some of these at local gaming stores and used bookstores, and I had never seen them before. So when I saw them, I just said, you know what, I'm just going to buy them all because I don't think I'm ever going to see these again. And I was right. I haven't seen Pendragon anywhere since I bought these. Picked them up from that store. Lots of these seem like they're options for players as well as adventures. Show you what else I got. Got some books from Blackbarnz, and one of them he said was a steampunk. This was obviously about aliens, and this is the Lankmar series. I have a couple books from the Lankmar series, but I don't have that one. He had also given me some Dark Ages Werewolf, Wendigo source book from the tribes. And these are all pictures and handouts and so forth that he just had laying around. Sorry for the bad camera work. These look like they're just, castles, buildings. There's other things in here as well, like characters and families. I believe a lot of these are probably from a box set, probably from Ravenloft. Some Dragon magazines, other things like that. Forgotten Realms stuff. Second edition AD&D DM screen. Thieves Handbook. And you gave me a bunch of dungeon magazines. I have a lot of Dragon, but I surprisingly don't have very many dungeon magazines at all. I could probably actually just run these straight out of the book with Labyrinth Lord. And again, more Ravenloft stuff. Some of the pictures. You got Strahd there. That guy just looks creepy. I approved of that. Red Tide, I think it is. I played one campaign in Ravenloft. It was using 3rd edition. This is like a clear screen. It's kind of hard to see. The Evil Eye. I believe that's an adventure. And these are sort of family portraits, it looks like. And I'm guessing these are for Ravenloft. I'm not really sure. Could probably use those in Song of Ice and Fire if I wanted to. He gave me some Vlad the Impaler comic books as well. These are from Blackbarnz. And thanks, man. Thank you for getting all this stuff for me. And there's a book of fantasy art and sci-fi art techniques and how to draw them. And it's kind of interesting. I didn't realize he was an artist. I must have missed that. I went on his page recently and looked, and he's a big artist. These I got incredibly cheap. I believe I got this entire stack of Harn modules, setting details, sort of pamphlets or magazines on the setting of Harn. Lots of awesome pictures and drawings and maps, like old school style. I think I have the Harn Master rules as well. I don't really know much about the setting. All I know is that a lot of people have said to me that it's a very interesting setting, and I know that a lot of people have said the system isn't all that great, but the setting is superb. And I've seen a lot of people hack basically just hack in other systems to run this setting. So I'm really interested to start to read all this material and just to see what it's like, see what the setting is about. And it looks like I have tons of information for all of this. And I'm guessing these Encyclopedia Harn booklets are just chock full of information that I can use. And every one just seems to have really cool maps associated with them, or drawings. If you can't tell, my voice is a little hoarse, probably from running all my games at the convention. I've had a day to recuperate, and I'm still having a hard time talking. So, you're seeing I bought a ton of Harn material. I think I got all these for like $5 or $10. I don't remember. I put bids on lots of auctions. And the silent auctions this year, a lot of them were donated by my friend Chris. And I was just sort of how much stuff he has. He was just basically just trying to clear stuff out. So he donated all these to, all the proceeds from this to go to the Gas Club for future, conventions. And I like to support the club too, so I usually buy a lot of junk. But this is pretty cool. I've heard lots of good things about Harn, and I'm curious to see what it's about. This is a big stack of GURPS stuff. Got GURPS Conan, GURPS Aztecs, GURPS Horror. Got a martial arts supplement. China. Swashbucklers. I have a few friends that are really into GURPS, so these might end up in their hands. Just give them a random gift every once in a while. That's a lot of fun to do. And GURPS Mage the Ascension. So it's basically Mage the Ascension translated to GURPS. I know they have a Vampire the Masquerade translation too, but I don't own it. Got some RuneQuest stuff. These look like modules mostly. Got the infamous ducks in that setting. Some people love them, some of them hate them, some people hate them. Cities. I'm kind of curious to see what that's like. These are various maps. I don't know if they were supposed to be in the box set or not, but they seem pretty nice. And they're actually pretty large. Didn't realize how large they were until I started making this video. And River of Cradles. So as you can see, I bought a lot of stuff, and I really didn't spend a lot of money. Going to conventions is a great way to pick up stuff. Got the Robotech rules with some deck plans. And Strike Force. And I remember watching some of the Robotech anime stuff when I was a kid. I haven't watched it in a long time. I should probably get on Netflix to see what that's about. These are all Middle-earth role-playing modules or setting books, and I was really glad to get these. I was bummed out that I didn't win the second edition Player's Handbook, or basically rules, but all of these have great art. I know Angus McBride did a lot of the artwork for Middle-earth role-playing, and I'm really excited that I own these. I kind of kicked myself that I didn't buy more of these when they were in stores. But at the same time, I was a poor kid, didn't have a lot of money to spend on RPGs. So now I buy a ton of them for, a lot cheaper than I could before. So I guess it worked out in the long run. I mean, just look at that art. That's awesome. So this must be an adventure. And all the Middle-earth role-playing was put out by Iron Crown Enterprises, who are mostly known for Rolemaster. And there's some Rolemaster stuff in there as well. Shadow World is sort of a sci-fantasy setting. I don't know much about it. I just have seen things advertised for it when I was playing Rolemaster back in the day. And I know the setting is very interesting. I just don't know that much about it. It looks like I have a couple copies of some of this stuff, like that one I have 2 of. Some of them are still wrapped in plastic. So as you can see, I bought a lot of stuff.